Hello everyone, welcome to Technology Thursdays by Paloe. Hope everyone is doing well on the second last week of the circuit breaker. We shall be out of the woods soon. Before we start, just some announcements. This session shall be up to an hour long with Q&A at the end. Feel free to enter your questions in the box below during your presentation as well. Right, so Technology Thursdays serves as a platform for solution providers to showcase their digital solutions that will aid SMEs greatly in their course of work, especially during times like this. Temperature screening stations are commonplace, and for some industries have been mandatory for employees and visitors alike. Today, we shall have Mr. Prabjeet from TimeCentral, who will be presenting on BioTemp, a contactless temperature screening and face recognition with built-in biometrics attendance with integration capabilities to most commonly used software. Over to you, Prabjeet.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. This is Prabjeet from PeopleCentral. Today we're going to talk about BioTemp. But before we jump into all that, let me just give you a little brief about why BioTemp comes in, what is PeopleCentral, what the company comes in. So to set the reference in place, we're a 17-year-old company in Singapore. It's a group of company called Advanced and Best Group of Companies. So let me just quickly pull up one of the profiles to look at, and then we can start discussing on that. All right. So in group of companies, we've been here for 17 years. We run a group of companies at about 7 companies under A&B group of companies, starting from a tech HR company. We have a search company. We have a recruitment company. Apart from that, we are into construction, engineering, and all this stuff. To put the perspective into place, where did the PeopleCentral come? It's about 2 years back when we sat down as a team, as a group of companies. We sat with the board and we said, all right, now we need to distinguish ourselves in the market for other HR vendors and other companies who are mushroomed up in there. So we started thinking on that and thought the best thing is to connect the most 3 profitable solutions that we have in the market, that is the HR tech, recruitment, as well as our business process outsourcing. So we connected all 3 of them on a single platform. We call it PeopleCentral. So basically what this does is this differentiates us from other vendors. This gives us an opportunity to give an end-to-end solution to a client. So compared to any other HR tech company out there, we probably would have a better edge because we not only do the HR activities or HR functionalities, but now we can do something called pre-employment connected to the same platform. Along with that, we also have connected the outsourcing services same platform. So ideally, a client would have all this happening on a single platform, right? So running through that, a leadership team includes me. We got another 3-4 people on different industry knowledge experts, and combined, we have about 75 years of experience on this platform. All right, so talking about the technologies, one of them is TimeCentral, which I'm going to talk about in a while once we set the reference correct about this. The other solution is PeopleCentral, the main platform. TimeCentral would be a subset of PeopleCentral. And the topic for today is BioTemp. So eventually I'll come back to BioTemp. So I'm just making the whole storyline from PeopleCentral to TimeCentral to BioTemp as a solution, right? To give a reference, we've got about 100,000 users already using our tools on the PeopleCentral platform, which includes the complete HR. So we got clients like SPC, Singapore Petrol Corporation. We got Daiso and a lot of renowned names, including a lot of SMEs also, because about 95% of Singapore is about SMEs. So we got clients all across. We got in banking industry, we got clients in the embassies, transportations, auditing finance companies, education sector, construction and shipping, hotels, different brands. So overall, we got about 5,000 clients across all our different solution and platforms. And that's where we are today. A little bit about our construction companies. We do major projects with a lot of other clients. Not to dilute the whole discussion, this is just some statistics and numbers there to move around. Vision, mission. So importantly, we are an ISO certified company from a tech angle, because the client data is very important for us, because all our solutions are cloud-based solutions. And one of the important reference that people would need is how secure are you about the data. So we are an ISO certified company in that sense. We're well established in the region. We are in Singapore, Malaysia, India, Philippines, Thailand, in Dubai and Canada. So Dubai takes care of Middle East clients, and Canada more of Europe, the West clients. That's a little bit about the company. So that's a group of companies, and coming down to TimeCentral. So TimeCentral is actually a spin-off of the PeopleCentral, and it basically takes care of worker management. So basically, your workforce management is taken care in the sense of it has scheduling, timesheet. It has about leave absence management. So that's about timesheet. So coming to a point that how did BioTemp came, what is the importance of BioTemp, and what is the reference of BioTemp for today's market, right? Technically, what happened is in January when COVID hit us and we all were stuck with COVID, as any other company, we were also sat down on a drawing board and said, now what would happen, or what do we create in this situation which is sellable, which is able to solve people's problem, and which is a natural extension of what we do. So we didn't want to go and create something entirely different. So we talked to our partners, we talked to our hardware vendors, we talked to different people, and we said, okay, we want to build something which is simple, which is secure, and which is very easy for end user to consume. And hence we got something which is called BioTemp. So what does BioTemp do? BioTemp is a solution, a contactless solution. Now, why contactless? Because in today's environment, COVID and post-COVID, the most important thing is that we need something which is contactless. Today we press a button of a lift, we want to wipe our hands or sanitize it. Similarly, all the finger biometrics now will change eventually in the market, but you still need to authenticate people, you still need to check the temperature, you still need to have the attendance. So what would be the solution that is required? Hence, we came up with something called BioTemp. So what does BioTemp do? It does all this thing. It solves all these problems. So it takes care of your attendance. It takes care of your facial recognition in terms of authenticating you. It takes your temperature at the same time. It pushes all this data to the cloud. And from there, you could do a lot of policies and profile running, and all that can be done. And all this is done seamlessly without a very big change in infrastructure or change in your existing environment. Because this has open APIs, so you can do a very tight integration with APIs, or you can do a loose integration with Excel and CSV imports into the system. Right. So let me just go and talk a little bit about BioTemp so that we would have an idea. So let me just quickly open a document for that. Wait 1 second. Let me share my screen. Give me a second to get the right screen. Are you able to see my screen now?
Yes, we can see.
All right. Okay. So talking about BioTemp, it's a combination. So how did BioTemp came in? BioTemp is biometric plus temperature. So it's a contactless authentication of attendees as a temperature reporting the safest way, right? So what does this do? So the illustration here tells you what it does. It actually scans your face, takes your temperature. It also makes an announcement of what is happening, right? So the first part, authentication, where we're doing a facial recognition. So the facial recognition, where we have a capacity of about 20,000 face recognitions that we can do in the device. The accuracy is 97.3. Interestingly, we have also tested it with the preschool, which is about a 2-year-old child with and without a mask, which we've done recently with one of our clients, right? The second thing what it does is temperature scanning. So it will do the temperature scanning and recognition at the same time of the thing, right? So we can mostly we use sensors here, but places like US and India where we have clients use Fahrenheit. And this body temperature, the advantage of this is that it will trigger alarms when you have a high temperature. And from there, a lot of policies can take in place that you don't want to enable the door access. Would want to auto apply leaves. You want to kick in your policies and protocols of the company. That can be done. Right. The other interesting part that a lot of clients, even IMGA and the government bodies were interested is managing the visitors that come to your office. So when you have visitors who come to your office, you want to make sure that you're even able to track their temperature, and to a lot of extent, can you integrate with the safe entry? So what we were able to do with the same device, we're able to get them onto a platform. So we have done a QR code. So we integrated a QR code in the device itself, where after you've taken your temperature, you could actually scan a safe entry QR code and do a check-in and check-out for that. All right. And being a tech company, we've done everything on a cloud. So it's a complete cloud-based application. Data is pushed to the cloud. The company policies, protocols, the reminder alerts are all set on the cloud. That means you have access to this from everywhere. You would not need to be stuck at one place to get all your information. All right, multi-zones. Singapore being a small place, this is not very relevant, but if you're across, like in Malaysia, other places, you have your things all across the city or state or country, we can collaborate that. And we also work across nations. So if you're multi-zones, this thing would collect data from all the zones and bring back to the place. All right, and then what we do is basically we automate attendance reports and things like that immediately. That means we can schedule that every morning 10 a.m. I could get all the reports coming to me, right? So the system will do that, as well as we can trigger alerts. So that's a reporting system in place. That's a global contact. That's the TimeCentral, right? So if you have any questions at this point, we can pick it up, or then we can go into the product demonstration.
Hi, Prabjeet. I think there's a Q&A, and the Q&A is asking if there's a demo, which I think you'll be doing now, right? Soon, right?
Yes.
All right.
So I jump into the demo presentation straight away?
Sure.
All right, great, fine. So that is a device, a physical device, which looks like an iPad, for instance, but it's a device which has no buttons on it, so it's contactless. I can't do anything on the device. It's got the infrared camera, bipolar camera, and everything, LEDs built into it. So the idea for us was very important is this, to have a device which is robust, which is contactless, and everything is built into one device. We don't need it few components hanging out of it. All right, so the one to just give you the idea how it does is just let me do an attendance, all right? So what it does is it authenticated me, took my temperature, and pushed it to the cloud. That is within that span of time, it has done all these things. And if you see, there's a small QR code here, which is for the safe entry. That means after I've done my facial recognition, I've done my temperature, I would want to do a safe entry for a visitor, I can do that through the system. So would it be convenient if I just quickly run a video to run through the functionality of BioTemp and then do a live demo for you guys? So let me just do that. Let me just fire up a simple video which will help us in understanding the solutioning much better.
Hi everyone, this is Elvi from TimeCentral. Today I'm going to show you how our innovative contactless face recognition with built-in temperature recording is facilitating to corporates, schools, hospitals and construction sites. We call it BioTemp. This will allow your staff to do attendance without even touching any surface, making it the safest and effective way of attendance as well as temperature recording. Let's see how this works in next 30 seconds. And does face recognition and take my temperature in a second. Second, BioTemp recognize even if we wearing a mask. Let's test it. You can also enforce the device compulsory wearing a mask to take attendance.
Please wear the mask. Please wear the mask.
Let's try wearing a mask.
Welcome, Elvi.
BioTemp does recognize a normal temperature also. Let me set the temperature threshold low to trigger the temperature alert. Once the device captures a normal temperature, the screen will turn to red and trigger the alarm. Well, BioTemp is also detect visitors and can alert for the set while allowing to take the temperature.
Stranger alert.
All right, so that's quickly what BioTemp does. It does a lot of different things. So what I can do is now show you live in that sense. So I said a word that we have tried to make it a simple solution. So now how is it simple? We have made it simple in the sense you don't need a computer, a PC or something to access it. You've done everything via a mobile app. So what I'm going to do is I will now reduce the threshold of the device to hit a low temperature so that when I scan my face next to it, it will actually tell me that you got a high temperature, right? All right, so I've set it up at 36 degrees now. So basically now what I've done is within a second, I've actually pushed a command to the device saying that my threshold of high temperature is 36 degrees. So what it does it, basically anybody who hits that temperature is going to set up alarm. And from there, we can trigger a lot of things back into the system. And then the protocols, the policies and all that will start taking place. We could also very quickly do is now, it was taking my temperature without a mask. I can enforce somebody to always have a mask. So what I'm going to do is same thing. I'm going to trigger enforcing mask. So now when I go front of the device,
Aakash seeing normal temperature 36.4.
give me a second.
Please wear Alvin low normal temperature 36.4. Please wear Alvin low normal
So basically it keeps
36.5.
pushing me to please wear a mask before it can actually take my temperature. So once I wear a mask, then it can take my temperature. So you could enforce that policies of enforcing depending on the environment. So tomorrow the environment changes, you don't want to enforce that anymore. You don't need any technical person to help you. You can just click a button and it disables that functionality. Right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the whole process on a portal, because the next advantage that we would have is when the data is pushed, what happens on the cloud aspect. So let me now share the cloud access so that we can all see how quick and how efficient the whole process is. Right. So I would just do the whole process now. Basically, I'll pick up one of the reports. So basically, if you look at my transactions, the last I've done is at 321 was my temperature taken, and this was my temperature. So now I'm going to do complete flow and then see how the data goes coming. All right.
Alvin low normal temperature
So
36.4.
as soon as I take my temperature, I'm going to go and refresh the thing.
Alvin low normal temperature 36.4.
Right. So I refresh and my data comes there. Similarly, we can do a lot of things. We can do dashboards where you can see the number of people who have logged in, the number of people who have mislogged in, a number of people with high temperature, and all the different aspects that come with the device. So you can have all these workflows and dashboards that can start working accordingly. KJ, do you have any questions to answer?
Yeah, Prabjeet, I think there are a couple of questions. One of them is, what is the maximum limit of employees that we can set in BioTemp?
All right, you can have 20,000 faces registered on the BioTemp. That's pretty large. In fact, we're doing about 15,000 users in one of the science tech parks in India also, because we're selling this across Asia Pac in 8 countries. So we get larger numbers there. We don't have about 15,000 in Singapore, but yeah, the number is 20,000.
Oh, okay. That's really a lot. All right, and the next question is biotech a one-time payment or monthly payment? I think, yeah.
All right, so BioTemp as such, for Singapore, it's under a PSG grant. So you, a local SME, can enjoy the solution at 20% price. So it's a one-time cost to acquire the software and comes with a 1-year subscription. Thereafter, you pay a monthly subscription of $50 for the online cloud access.
Okay, great. And last one, is BioTemp able to take the data of the visitors? I think it was shown in your product demo earlier on, right?
Yes, there's other product demo which I'll show you. So what it does, a lot of people had the safe entry question. So what it does, if you're a stranger and the device doesn't know who you are, it will still take your temperature. So there are actually 3 things you can do with a visitor. The very first thing is when you have a visitor, he just comes in, it takes the temperature. Nothing happens, okay. Second is a visitor comes in, you take his temperature, and then you take him to the level 2 that he scans your QR code and does a safe entry. The third option is you could actually register a visitor, right? Registering a visitor also is very simple, very straightforward. Again, I do it via mobile app. So what I do is I will trigger up the application and I will just go and add a visitor. So I'm not sure if it's going to be clear here. So that's the list of all my visitors, right? All I do is I swap from the right and I will click register. So I want to show you how quick the whole process is. So I'm going to say register and there. So it's ready to register the visitor. So a few things, we can also do a self check-in for a visitor. That means when a visitor comes in, we could have a tablet lying down there, they can fill in the information and register. Or an office receptionist or somebody can help registering if registration is required. If you don't register still, it does temperature and the check-in with safe entry and all that stuff.
Okay, great. You still have a couple of videos to show, right? Or
sure. There's another one, the safe entry one, which I'm going to share now.
Okay.
So that answers few more questions in terms of how the things happen. So let me just start that. Give me a second.
Hi everyone, this is Elvin from TimeCentral. Today we are going to talk about the visitor management. There are two ways to doing it. First, if you don't have the visitor information registered in the BioTemp machine, BioTemp will also take the temperature of the visitor. Second, if you wish to keep a record of the visitor, you can add the visitor information on the mobile apps. So this is the user interface of the TimeCentral mobile apps. It only takes seconds to register the visitor information. Let me show you how to do it. Fill in all the information. Once you have registered the visitor information, select Face Device, Register. Now the BioTemp machine is ready for capture the face and push it to the crowd. You can also set up a tablet for the visitor self-service, or any employee from the office can assist the visitors. Thank you. Hi, this is Elvin. Let me show you how quick is the whole process. So it will only take 1 second to capture my face and measure the temperature, push the data to TimeCentral. So this is my last record. Click on the fetch button. So now you can see this is the latest. So let me demonstrate how is the set entry apps work with the visitor.
Normal temperature 36.
After measure temperature, use your mobile camera, scan on the QR code for the set entry. There you go.
All right, so that shows about the other features, that how quick you can do it, how do you manage your visitors, and how you use it in a safe entry application. Hi, could we have more questions on this, or we move out to something else?
Yeah, actually, I think there are a couple of questions. We can lump them together. So there's a question: can this be used in preschool? Another one is: will this be used for F&B sector as well? Because they say they know they can record the visitors and stuff. So maybe I could so-called collate into one question. So what are the current industries that this system is actually implemented?
Very good question. So we already have, like I was telling in my discussion before, we already successfully have done it at a preschool with a 2-year-old kid. So we did a trial run with them because there's a group of preschools where wanted us to, they were serious and they wanted to buy and they were happy, but they were not sure whether it's going to work on a preschool kids, which I said the only way we can do is to have a trial run. So we did a trial run and it was very successful. It was able to do the face recognition of a 2-year-old kid with the mask and everything. We also have videos of that. We can eventually share that with the participants today, how we will do that. So it works in preschool. It is already, we already have confirmed orders from 4 preschools. In fact, there's a government body which is looking for all the preschools to have this. There are about 2,000 units kind of a discussion happening with them. F&B is the other sector, apart from, because that's the question right now. A lot of hotel chains have already in talking with us in terms of how do you implement this, how do you register the visitors, how do you take care of the staff, and some of them are extending this to include the scheduling and timesheet along with the attendance. The other major industries that we are already working with them is construction. A lot of construction site workers have been affected. So geometries, constructions is one big segment. The other segment is entertainment, where we're talking about fitness centers, gyms. The other one is cinemas. A lot of cinemas are doing that. And by default, all the corporates, all the offices, they need it because anyway, they need a system and I think about 50-60% of them are having a finger scanner which has to be replaced. So when you're replacing something, you better replace with the temperature module. So I don't see an industry that doesn't need it. But yes, the questions, yes, it's very well working in both the industries that you're looking forward for. The F&B is also ahead because you need to make sure you bring back the customers to your environment. And when you're bringing them back to your environment, you want to make sure the people who are already inside, the people who want to come in, feel safer so that you have a better traction. So this is a very good fit for that.
All right, great. Okay, sure. I think there are a couple of questions, but we can move on. We'll answer them right at the end. Would that be all right?
Sure, that's perfectly all right. Okay, so this is what BioTemp does, but the essence of the whole thing was how do you extend this moving forward, or do you want this to stay here? So we didn't want just to sell boxes, but as a solution, this now integrates into the complete system. So either it can integrate with the existing HRs, existing wisdom management, existing POS systems, or whatever systems the client already has. So we're talking to a lot of building managements who want to integrate with their existing wisdom management system. So there's a lot of integrations that are possible, a lot of use cases possible. For example, we're talking to hotel chains who want to have this device installed and pre-register the guests who are coming into the hotel so that they can, when they come to check in, they can register them, take the temperature and things like that. So there are many other scenarios. So what I do, I'll quickly run into showing you the presentation of PeopleCentral as an extension to the BioTemp. So once you have BioTemp, you want to extend it further and you want to get into the complete solutioning to end-to-end solution. That is, the data comes in, the temperature comes in, I use the data, I schedule my work. So let's say F&B, I schedule my employees, I get the time attendance data, I compute the overtime, I compute the salaries, I do CPF and all that. That's where the PeopleCentral come into picture. So let me quickly run that. Let me share that. Okay. Right. So let's talk about PeopleCentral. It's all in one AI-enabled platform empowering human resources. So this is now we're talking about the extensions of BioTemp. Once you have BioTemp, what you can do. So that's the solution. It talks about the company which I've already spoken about. We were a 17-year-old company. So let's straightway jump into the platform understanding. So PeopleCentral is again divided into few. One is HR Central, where we got teams, surveys, appraisals, reminders, dashboards, claims, timesheet scheduler. We got a Payroll Central. Now this is interesting, where we automate the payroll administration, IRSs, and we do a lot of integration with the accounting softwares. So we do with Xero, QuickBooks, MathSoft. We're done with CRMs. We're done with a lot of other companies in that aspect. Recruit Central. So basically, you can do hiring, talent acquisition, employee mobilizations, all of them through a system. So it becomes a very complete system at your end, where you're doing a complete employee management, the HR management, the attendance, the data, the temperature, everything fits into one nice solution. We are a mobile-first company. That means most of the things can be done on mobile. You don't need to go on a browser. That means an employee can look at his schedule, apply his leaves, claims, look at his timesheet and things like that. So apart from the BioTemp, when they use our mobile app, you can still do geofencing, geolocation, facial recognition, attendance for the employees. That means people who are working remotely, you can use the mobile app currently and you can do your attendance. So we can do geofencing and things like that. So for working remotely, the mobile app works handy. And then the beauty is the mobile app, the BioTemp and solutioning all as one. So you don't need to have different platforms or things to use them. AI Central, so we have chatbots, we do a lot of surveys and things like through the system for employee engagement, employee performance. right? And under HR administration, so I just quickly run through this. Basically, it's about the hiring. That's one of the modules we have. So it goes step by step. You do first hiring, that is, you get somebody in the office, then you do something called onboarding. Now, onboarding is very interesting in the application. You physically, HR doesn't have to enter all the data for the employees. They go enter the basic information and push an onboarding packet to the employees to fill in all the data for them. So they can fill in all the data and send back. And during that process of onboarding, you can send them company videos and company things to familiarize them before they come and join the company. So once they're inside, you have management dashboards, and the employees can do the leave application. There's a claim management where you can do the claims and all that stuff. Payroll, single click payroll, because everything is automated. Then we have the appraisal. So now we're talking about the employee engagement. We're looking at the appraisals, evaluations, the training and development for the employee in the company. So you have evaluations done, employee engagement in terms of you can do training courses. And if you want deep learning training, we have integration with a lot of deep learning solutions, as well as we have integration with courses. So the online courses can be incorporated with the application. All right. Scheduling, which is the rostering and all the stuff. Timesheet management, biometric devices, timesheet computation, project tracking can happen there. The mobile app, which I was talking mobile first, where you can do a lot of things through the mobile. And the integration, this is what I've been talking about. So integrating with Xero, QuickBooks, Microsoft, and the other hardware. And also, there are 15 different partners that we work on this. Right. Well, that's about the sales. So I skip the sales part here. We call it HR ready solution. That means from BioTemp all the way to the end of the solution, everything is complete solution. You can use it. It's ready to use. So even BioTemp, right? The day you receive the BioTemp, you're able to start using it. So it's very simple to use on that. All right. So this is going to be just the clienteles. I'm going to skip all that part for you. So that's about PeopleCentral, the whole complete HR system we can do. So what I've done is I've gone through the very simplest thing is about BioTemp to TimeCentral all the way to the PeopleCentral. Now all this is a large application which fits very nicely in SMEs, enterprises, and different environments. And the beauty of all is this: all the solutions, when we talk about BioTemp, or we talk about TimeCentral, or we talk about PeopleCentral, all of them are under PSG grant of 80%. So we're not trying to sell you that, but what I'm trying to say is why we are registered there throughout all our solutions, because the number of clients we have, the number of years of experience we have, and that's the reason IMG is able to pre-approve all our solutions under their grant umbrella, so the end user can have all the information.
All right, Prabjeet, shall we, I think we can move on to the Q&As, right?
Yeah, we can do Q&A.
Right.
That's how it's interactive, otherwise just we talking.
Yeah, I hope your painting at the back is fine, but
yeah, it just came boom over me.
Okay, for the participants, I've actually, you have voice, so if you wish to talk, you can unmute yourself. If not, there are a couple of questions. So perhaps there are some that are related. Let me try to collate into one specific one. So you have talked a bit about the integration portion. So the softwares that you have are actually also PSG certified. How about those that are not? Like they are not beneath the softwares that you have shown. Will there be any integration capabilities with BioTemp?
Which software, sorry, can you repeat?
And I mean softwares that are not inside the ones that you have shown us, like Xero, QuickBooks. Are there any way that you can integrate with the rest of them, like Telenox or the like?
We can integrate. So the idea is that when we have done the internal ecosystem of 3 companies, which are our 3 companies, and we build the partners across us, we keep building the partners. So the target is to have about 100 partners across the whole platform by end of next year. That's the trajectory we are following in terms of, because you see the HR is the most sticky thing, right? So even you talk about performance, you talk about recruitment, you talk about accounting, finance, eventually HR is the most sticky part. And for us, by making this ecosystem, now we have a lot of traction of people coming and connected. So Telelox is another HR company in that sense. So I don't think they'll integrate, but yes, the other HR companies, Finance Co and all the stuff, accounting companies, we will integrate. We have no problem with the integration. And neither do we charge for integrations. It's just that we want a platform to have all the solutions on there so that our end user is able to consume there.
Oh,
So this all will be a marketplace.
well, I'd like to clarify. You said that there's no charges for integration.
Yes. So like, for example, right now you use my platform, PeopleCentral, right? So you have the Zero on a marketplace already. So all you do is you have a Zero account, you have PeopleCentral account, you just connect them through the token, and that's it. You're done. You start using it.
Okay. Right. So let's move on to yeah. They asked how long will it take to set up and install for BioTemp?
Okay, let me repeat. The day it's installed, it's ready to up and running.
Okay.
So how we do is, I mean, for the existing employees, that's clients, is okay because we have data. For the people, the clients that we are not on our HR system, what we do is we import the Excel sheet straight away into our platform, and then from there to the device. So you can do on the very same day, even if you have 200 employees. The day you receive it, the day you can start using it.
All right, that's really fast. Next, can it be linked to a automated door/entry control? What I think is
yeah.
I
can answer that, Rajat. So this is called relay. Yes, it has a relay, so it can connect to the doors, it can connect to the percentiles, it can connect to anything which has a relay option, which generally people call EM lock, a magnetic lock. Yes, it can be done.
All right. Okay. There are a couple of questions on the amount that you're supposed to pay, but I assume those can be found on the PSG website, or how does it work? I mean, you have said that, does it work on the different? Are there any different packages or?
So for us, fortunately, what we have is we have 2 packages. That means a company can apply for 1 device or a 2 device for 1 postal code. That means for 1 offices, they can have up to 2 devices under the grant.
Oh, and I assume they would have to apply all of the, I mean, if they have a couple of offices, they apply at the same time, right? They couldn't keep applying for the same grant over and over again, right?
It depends how we look at it. If it's a different postal code, they apply twice. It doesn't matter. You can do it. There's an option for locations, but IMD is always very unclear on multiple packages. But never time we have a team of experts who do all the applications, so they will work with the clients to do the application.
All right. The question is still on the payment away again. Is monthly fee depending on the number of users?
Yes, basically no. In Singapore, no, because we want to just keep it simple. In other countries, yes, it does. It depends on number of employees. But in Singapore, it's fixed $50 a month.
Okay, all right. And there's one more. Can BioTemp data generate to Excel? I think you said it can be exported to CSV, right?
Yeah, Excel, CSV, straight away can do it.
Okay. Okay, all right. There are a couple of questions on integration with payroll and HR. I think you have explained that already. The complete HR solution, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Right, opening up to the floor. You can either type in the Q&A box or feel free to unmute yourself.
Hello. I have a question. So, can you explain more on the hiring process? Because I understand that there's an AI also, and is there any kind of differences in using the traditional way or using a headhunter? Because right now there's a lot of headhunter company that also basically helping companies to look for employees, right?
Right. Okay. So 2 things happen, right? When you get a hiring module under PeopleCentral, right? So it does your hiring. That means you can first create a JD. JD can be internally approved. Once the JD is approved, you can, if you're a large company, you can have an internal career site where your internal employees can apply, like clients like Pentaocean and all bigger. If you don't have a bigger, then you can use the same career site link to post it on your website or different job sites. So this is when you're doing a self-service, and then you get a resumes. The resumes comes into the system. And from there, you can do workflow starts wherein you want to do telephone interviews, you want to get data and appointments and all that till it gets onboarded. So that's the standard hiring. So the advantage, how PeopleCentral is a little different is, let's say you've done all that process, you're still not able to get a person into the company. There's an option for you to press a button and the JD goes to our headhunting company, which will eventually search somebody for you, put back the resume on the platform, and from there, you're able to run through the whole process. Did I answer your question?
But if, let's say, we don't have any we don't get the employees that we want, the skill that
Right.
we want, and you also, from the platform itself, it helped us to go to the headhunter itself. Is there
Yes.
any kind of additional fee?
That is your relation with headhunter. So we have our own headhunting company. So PeopleCentral is a group of 3 companies: the HR tech company, the search headhunting company, and the business process outsourcing. So what happens is when your JD is going to a headhunter, probably us, for example, then you would have a relationship with us in terms of every recruitment, what are the charges and all that.
Okay. Lastly, when we're talking about the BioTemp itself, right? So
Right.
if, let's say, the BioTemp is already been put it out in the office, and one of our, let's say, the marketers and salesmen is doing work remotely, is there any kind of ways for them to, let's say, check in attendance?
Yes. They can check in attendance through the mobile app, which has a facial recognition and geolocation, a geofencing set in place. The only difference is when they're doing from their home or remotely, there's no temperature checking, but you can still do a check-in through a facial recognition.
Okay, thank you.
No problem, Cindy.
Before we move on to the next question, actually something just came out on my mind, Prabjeet. So I understand the whole ecosystem that PeopleCentral and TimeCentral is trying to build at the moment. So other than BioTemp, do you have any other so-called solutions that are on SME, Go Digital, or PSG?
From us or from any other vendor?
From yourself or any other vendor?
For ourselves, it's all our platform. That is, our BioTemp is on the Go Digital. PeopleCentral is on Go Digital. The TimeCentral, that means the device, the time management, and the complete HR. All 3 are on the Go Digital platform, right?
Yeah.
That means people can just have BioTemp, or they can move to the next level of workforce management, where it comes with timesheets, scheduling, and absence management. And then the next level is the complete HRMS. So all 3 solutions are under the PSG grants.
Great.
And
So in a
currently,
way,
all of them, I think, up to 80% till December this year.
yeah. So I guess you're like the one-stop solutions for companies who are looking for HR.
Yeah, it's cliche to say that, but what we say is more or less we are a solution where we provide a lot of things happening at our end in terms of marketplace. So we do try to connect a lot of solutions. So we are trying to connect to your accounting, to your CRM, to your trainings. So like when we talk about NTUC clubs and all that, they're more interested in training because a lot of people they need to train. So when everything comes on a single system, then people are very excited to adopt the system.
Great. Okay. Let's just
Right,
yeah.
Sure. We got last 10 minutes. Any questions or anything more? We can just wrap it up then.
All right. If not, I think we would be able to send. Would you like to give a shout out of your details, contact details, or anything over here?
No, I'm fine. I mean, if you can share. I mean, you can find us at PeopleCentral. You can find us as TimeCentral. Anywhere. I mean, if you want, I can just share, or you can share with the participant the details.
Sure,
later.
sure. I could do that. All right.
Yeah.
Then, just the case. Any parting words? Any parting words for the participants here?
So you're asking me? Sorry.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry. What do you say?
I say, do you have any parting words for the participants?
Oh, parting words. Sorry, I was talking about it. All right. First of all, thank you. Thanks for having me here. You can get my contacts from KG if you require. We are here to help you in any solutioning. And the most important part, I mean, if you want to take away from today is 2. One about BioTemp. It's the complete contactless solution. That's the key part. And second part is we are a tech company. We're not into selling boxes. So if you have use cases that are different from the current environment, we're more than happy to work with you to get that solution. So let it be FMB, let it be hoteling, tourism, or any other industry.
All right, then. Thank you, Prabjeet. Thank you, everyone. And this will be it for Technology Thursday. We will see you next time.
All right. Thank you, everyone.